He put his back to the window and lifted a bottle of bourbon from one of the shelves inside the bar. "I didn't get your name," McLean said to Vickery. "Art Vickery." "Look, why do you keep staring at me?" McLean ignored that. "You are a friend of Mr. Hannigan's?" "No," Hannigan said from the bar. "I just met him tonight, a few minutes ago. He wanted to use my phone." McLean's eyes glittered slightly. "Is that right?" he said. "Then you don't live around here, Mr. Vickery?" "No, I don't live around here." "Your car happened to break down too, is that it?" "Not exactly." "What then, exactly?" "I was with a woman, a married woman, and her husband showed up unexpectedly." There was sweat on Vickery's face now. "You know how that is." "No," McLean said, "I don't. Who was this woman?" "Listen, if you're with the Highway Patrol, as you say, I don't want to give you a name." "What do you mean?" "If I'm with the Highway Patrol, as I say. I told you I was, didn't I? I showed you my identification, didn't I?" "Just because you're carrying it doesn't make it yours." McLean's lips thinned, and his eyes did not blink at all now. "You're trying to get at something, mister. If so, maybe you'd better just spit it out all at once." "I'm not trying to get at anything," Vickery said. "There's an unidentified lunatic running around loose out there in the fog." "So you're not even trustful of a law officer?" "I'm not. I'm just being careful." "That's a good way to be," McLean said. "I'm that way myself. Where do you live, Vickery?" "In San Francisco." "How were you planning to get home tonight?" "I'm going to call a friend to come pick me up." "Another lady friend?" "All right, tell you what. You come with me, up to the car, that is, and when the tow truck shows up with the new fan belt, I'll drive you down to Bodega. You can make your call from the patrol station there." A muscle throbbed in Vickery's temple. He tried to match McLean's stare, but it was only seconds before he averted his eyes. "What's the matter?" McLean said. "Something you don't like about my suggestion?" "I can make my call from right here." "Sure, but then you'd be inconveniencing Mr. Hannigan. You wouldn't want to do that to a total stranger, would you?" "You're a total stranger," Vickery said. "I'm not going out in that fog with you, not alone and on foot." "I think maybe you are." "No, I don't like those eyes of yours, the way you keep staring at me." "And I don't like the way you're acting, or your story, or the way you look," McLean said. His voice had got very soft, but there was a hardness underneath that made Hannigan, standing immobile now at the bar, feel ripples of cold along his back. "Well, just be going, Vickery." "We'll just be going, Vickery, right now." Vickery took a step toward him, and Hannigan could not tell if it was involuntary or menacing. Immediately, McLean swept the tail of his suit jacket back and slid a gun out of his holster on his hip, centered it on Vickery's chest. The coldness on Hannigan's back deepened. He found himself holding his breath. "Outside, mister," McLean said. Vickery had gone pale, and the sweat had begun to run on his face. He shook his head and kept on shaking it as McLean advanced on him, as he himself started to back away. "Don't let him do it," Vickery said desperately. He was talking to Hannigan, but looking at the gun. "Don't let him take me out of here." Hannigan spread his hands. "There's nothing I can do." "That's right, Mr. Hannigan," McLean said. You just let me handle things. Either way, it goes with this one. I'll be in touch." A little dazedly, Hannigan watched McLean prod Vickery into the hall, to the door, heard Vickery shout something. Then they were gone and the door slammed shut behind them.